So you got the two most important players in the league, in league negotiations, talking as if it's a guarantee that it happens. They're talking as if it's a guarantee, and that's one of those things that I don't think people really are like taking into account, is that it really does matter when you've got these players talking like it's completely guaranteed.
Caitlin Clark just dropped something on social media that's got the entire basketball world buzzing about these WNBA contract talks. She's speaking like the 2026 season is already locked in. No uncertainty, no hesitation, just straight up confidence that games are definitely happening. At the same time, the Players Union is making strike threats, and everyone's freaking out. But Caitlin and Angel Reese seem completely unbothered. There's definitely something brewing behind closed doors.
We saw this post, obviously somebody's dog, I don't even know exactly who this is, to be honest, they said their dog was named CC after Caitlin Clark. Caitlin's response: both are welcome courtside this year.
So Caitlin Clark just hit back at a fan on social media. Someone who shared a photo of their dog they named CC in her honor. Pretty sweet fan moment, right? Normal celebrity interaction. But Caitlin's response was far from ordinary. She told them both are welcome courtside this year. This year, not if we get a season, not maybe next year, just casually confirming there will be games, there will be courtside seats, and fans can absolutely show up. Coming from someone who usually picks her public words very carefully, that's significant. And she's not alone in this confidence. Angel Reese spent this week discussing her major objectives, specifically mentioning her playoff aspirations, not hoping to make playoffs if we have a season. Just straight up talking playoff targets like it's absolutely certain. The WNBA is running in 2026.
It is one of those things where you've got Caitlin Clark saying this, and obviously Angel Reese during the week was talking about her biggest goals, and she was talking about playing in the playoffs. So you got the two most important players in the league, in league negotiations, talking as if it's a guarantee that it happens. They're talking as if it's a guarantee, and that's one of those things that I don't think people really are like taking into account, is that it really does matter when you've got these players talking like it's completely guaranteed.
We're talking about the two biggest stars the league has right now. Not the biggest names on the bargaining team, the biggest players for the actual revenue of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the face of this league. Whether everyone wants to accept it or not, Angel Reese is right there with her when it comes to marketability and fan connection. And both are speaking like the season is a done deal. This carries more weight than people think. Because when the players who legitimately drive ticket sales and TV ratings are acting like there's zero doubt about games being played, that reveals something about where these talks really are.
The season's happening. Not like will there be a season? Which you would hear obviously from the players on the committee. You've got the players who I believe are the most important people for this league talking about it as if it's happening. And that for me is important. You're being like, Caitlin believes CBA agreed upon. I do too. I believe there's going to be a season next year.
Here's the truth about who really holds power in these CBA discussions. The most crucial person in these negotiations isn't anyone on the players committee. It's Caitlin Clark. Second most important is Angel Reese. Third is Sabrina Ionescu. Fourth is Aja Wilson. Fifth is Paige Buchers, who hasn't even entered the league yet but is already getting superstar treatment in marketing. These are the athletes that major brands have poured millions into. These are the players that Nike, Reebok, and other massive sponsors have centered entire campaigns around. And Nike specifically holds a major financial piece of the WNBA itself. They've got real money invested in this league, continuing and succeeding. So when Caitlin Clark casually talks about courtside access for the coming season, that's not some random thought. That's someone who likely has solid intel that an agreement is happening, because there's way too much cash involved for it to fall through. The Players Association had 97% vote yes to authorize a strike if talks collapse. Media jumped all over that percentage, acting like it means every player is ready to abandon ship and destroy the season. But that's not what this vote actually represents.
Like if the WNBPA, like if the PA calls a strike, and people are like, oh, 97% of the players like voted voted for a strike. No, they didn't. 97% of the players basically said they trust the CBA. They trust the CBA. Or say not trust CBA, they trust the PA. that if that they're okay to strike if nothing happens. That they're okay with the strike as a last resort. And if nothing else, that vote is just in solidarity. Like, the reality is that even if it was 60%, it would make absolutely no difference. But the players also know that if half the league, if it ended up being 60% voting, that the league would just, the PA would have to just cave and accept the deal. And at the end of the day, the players are still likely going to get more money.
This vote means 97% of players have faith in their union to fight for them and would back a strike as an absolute final option if nothing else works. It's unity. It's leverage. It's not players voting on whether they actually want to strike. Even if only 60% voted yes, it wouldn't have changed anything. The union would still negotiate exactly the same way. But if only 60% voted yes, that would show cracks and disagreement, giving the league power to lowball their offers. Obviously, the players demonstrated solidarity. They'd be foolish not to. The possibility of a strike has to be real for players to secure a decent deal. Without that possibility, ownership would just throw out the smallest increase they could get away with, and players would have zero power to demand better. But having that threat doesn't mean it's actually happening. Players are reportedly looking at 600 to 700% salary increases in this new agreement. That's completely life-altering money for most of the league. You seriously believe players are going to walk away from that over minor details? Especially when the league is finally generating real revenue and getting mainstream coverage. Players have to show unity during talks. But once an offer with massive pay bumps hits the table, reality kicks in. And reality is that even players who aren't Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese are about to earn more than they've ever made in their professional career. So when Caitlin and Angel speak like the season is definitely happening, they're probably spot on because everyone knows that losing a season would be devastating for everybody. Players lose paychecks, owners lose profits, sponsors lose investment. The momentum this league has created over the last year vanishes. And that momentum is absolutely real. The 2025 WNBA season broke every viewership record in league history. Attendance numbers were completely shattered. Merchandise flew off shelf. Corporate sponsors who completely ignored the WNBA for decades suddenly wanted partnerships. All of that disappears if there's no 2026 season. Nike specifically has made huge investments in Caitlin Clark. There are rumors, totally unconfirmed internet speculation, but rumors that they're planning to debut her signature shoe during a Super Bowl ad. That's the most expensive advertising real estate in American sport. If Nike is even thinking about that, they're not doing it hoping there might be a WNBA season. They're doing it because they know there will be. The Super Bowl happens in early February. Team USA Olympic prep starts in March. Paige Buckers probably gets drafted in April. WNBA season kicks off in May. That's a perfectly timed marketing sequence for what should be the most massive WNBA season in history. You really believe Nike is dropping millions on Super Bowl advertising for an athlete who might not have any games to play? You think they're building this whole marketing machine around the WNBA and then just accepting it if the season gets scrapped? Absolutely not. Corporate sponsors don't spend this kind of money without guarantee. And the fact that these marketing strategies are apparently moving ahead tells you that the people with actual financial skin in the game aren't stressed about CBA talks falling apart. The freak out about a possible strike is mostly manufactured media drama. Sports journalism thrives on labor conflict stories. It creates engagement and arguments, and gives analysts something to debate during quiet period. But the real stakeholders, the players who drive everything, the sponsors who finance it all, the owners who profit from it, they're all behaving like an agreement is happening. And honestly, the Players Association would be completely insane to actually strike. This is the strongest bargaining position they've ever held. The league has never been more popular. Revenue is climbing, national television contracts are expanding. This is exactly when you push aggressively for better money and conditions. But it's also when you close the deal and secure those victories. If players strike and the 2026 season gets wiped out, all that progress disappears. Casual fans who just started watching will find something else. Corporate sponsors will move their budgets elsewhere. The advancement of recent years gets erased. The Players Association understands this. League leadership understands this. Sponsors understand, which is exactly why Caitlin Clark can casually invite a dog named CC to courtside, and nobody in league management is panicking about her making commitments the league might not be able to honor.